Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today we're excited to share with you our JupyterLab Accessibility Checker developed by our student team at UC Berkeley. First, we'll start off by sharing a little about ourselves, our Jupyter Hub instance, and Berkeley, and then we'll jump right into the extension. So I'm Allison Czapracki, and I manage the Learning Environments and Tools team at UC Berkeley. We oversee our Jupyter Hub platform, learning management system, a lecture capture ecosystem, and lots of other student engagement technologies.
Hi everyone, I'm Balaji Alwar. I'm the service lead for Data Hub, which is Berkeley's Jupyter Hub, and I'm part of Allison's team.
And not present with us today is Chan Bin Park. He's our student developer and a senior studying computer science. And in front is Ryan Lovett, Director of Computing for the Statistical Computing Facility at Berkeley, as well as a Jupyter Distinguished Contributor. A little about Berkeley. The student body is about 45,000, 33,000 undergrad, almost 13,000 grad students. Over a quarter of the undergrads are first-generation college students. Berkeley has about 400 degree programs throughout 184 departments, academic departments and programs, and across 7 colleges. And we have over 2,600 teaching faculty and thousands more graduate student instructors, some of whom use Jupyter Hub. So UC Berkeley's Jupyter Hub, which we call Data Hub, is a joint initiative between research, teaching, and learning and the College of Computing, Data Science, and Society. Each semester, more than 40 courses rely on this for a part of their curriculum, used by about 14 or so thousand students. Many of these courses are very large, with 400 to 1,000 students or more in many of the data science courses. And in our Foundations of Data Science course, which was the inaugural JupyterLab course in 2017, routinely has over 2,000 student enrollments. Other courses that rely on Data Hub include economics, biology, physics, public health, but even non-STEM courses like political science and American history use it. I want to talk a little about students with disabilities at Berkeley. Since 2010, the number of students requesting letters of accommodation, or LOAs, from our Disabled Students program has risen every year. These letters ensure faculty compliance with disability accommodations, which could include things like extra time on assessments, a peer or AI note taker, or professionally captioned lecture videos. So at Berkeley, about 5,600 students, or over 10% of the student population, identified as having a disability this fall. Also notable is that over 2,000 of them indicated that they have 2 or more disabilities. Many users can benefit from our JupyterLab Accessibility Checker extension, including those who are blind or have low vision, which is about 1.1% or 60 students on the campus with a letter of accommodation. If a screen reader can't parse the notebook, these students wouldn't be able to look at or complete their assignments. But anybody using an assistive technology can benefit. These folks may not be represented in the data, as there may be students with temporary disabilities or those who've just not requested formal accommodations. For students with learning disabilities, ADHD, and autism, apologies, that's a little hard to see, that's over a third of this group, or about, I think it's 2,200 students. The clear headings, logical hierarchy, and structured tables that our extension promotes makes content easier to follow, absorb, and navigate, helping students stay focused while reducing cognitive load. These features also support other neurodivergent students who may also not have formal accommodations. Now imagine if this were the chart we just showed you. Balaji consulted with Google Gemini to make some edits to that previous chart, and this is what it came up with. This is what an experience might be like for a user with a disability who is not able to interact with inaccessible content. And this is what it looks like if you have deuteranopia or green deficiency color blindness. I see some heads nodding. This is the most common form of color blindness, and about 5% of all males have this condition. And that said, 1 in 12 males and 1 in 200 women have some form of color blindness, making color alone an unreliable way to convey information. Before we talk about our accessibility checker extension, I'd like to talk a little about WCAG standards, Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. These are a set of internationally recognized standards published by the W3C, some of you may be familiar with, the World Wide Web Consortium, that aim to make web content usable and understandable, especially for people with disabilities. WCAG guidelines define clear criteria for accessible design and development, and our extension builds upon this framework, applying WCAG principles to Jupyter notebooks. So WCAG is a set of testable criteria under 4 principles, or POUR: perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. Each issue that our extension aims to remediate connects to at least one of these principles. For example, we've got robust. Web content must be robust enough to be interpreted reliably by a wide range of assistive technologies. This means that a screen reader user should be able to navigate just through the notebook with the same effectiveness and fluidity as somebody who's not using an assistive technology. Berkeley has long been a pioneer in the disability justice space and is committed to creating an equitable educational experience for all students. Berkeley and the University of California system, 10 campuses, adhere to WCAG 2.1 AA guidelines for course content and applications. And you may have heard of the Americans with Disabilities Act's Title II. This states that all academic course content, including Jupyter Notebook content, is expected to be fully accessible by April 2026, coming up quickly. That said, accessibility of all technology platforms, including Jupyter tools, has been a key priority for Berkeley for a long time. And work on this extension began in 2023 before Title II was announced. The Jupyter project has always had a strong community backing for improving the actual platform's accessibility. But making individual notebooks accessible is a separate challenge. Balaji found this study from University of Washington where researchers analyzed over 100,000 publicly available Jupyter notebooks from the JetBrains dataset to uncover common inaccessibility problems. Among their most notable findings, 99.8% of all programmatically generated images did not have alt text. Many of these issues, like that one, stem from notebook authoring practices which fall outside of the scope of the core Jupyter team. So that's where our extension comes in. It's designed to help authors create and share accessible Jupyter notebooks. And next, Balaji will walk you through how it works.
Yeah. So, hey everyone. So the student team at Berkeley built this A11y checker extension. The objectives of the extension is threefold. One is primarily identify accessibility issues within a Jupyter notebook. The second is provide guidance about the issue, like which WCAG guidelines it is violating and so on. And finally also provide like thoughtful recommendation to fix the accessibility issues. And this is the user interface. You can see for the extension on the left-hand side, you can see a markdown cell with the image and text. On the right-hand side, you have the extension appearing. So when there is a digital accessibility icon on the sidebar, when a user clicks on that, it pops open the user interface of the extension. And you can see that the extension in the top, there is an option to analyze the notebook and also seek AI support. And in the bottom, there are different sections catering to different accessibility issues. For example, tables, accessibility issues in tables, images, links, headings, and so on.
Hey, Balaji, let's make this full screen.
Oh, yeah.
I just realized we can make this a little bit more visible for you. There we go. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. So as you can see, so there is a detection button in the user interface, which when user clicks on it, it identifies the exact accessibility issue in the notebook. There is also a fix interface for certain accessibility issues. Users can actually provide input to fix that particular accessibility issue. Example, alt text generation. And also there is an option to seek AI support where users can seek inputs from the AI model. So regarding AI, so that we have option to generate, so we are using both language model and a vision model. The language model is used for generating summary of a table, and we are using vision model to generate a summary of a image, like generate a alt text for the image. And these are the WCAG guidelines we have currently implemented. This is inspired by the study that Allison talked about, which was done by University of Washington researchers, and sort of corroborated by an accessibility skills checklist that was published by the Northeastern University. And here you can see it handles multiple issues like heading issues, then header issues in table, table not having captions, and alt text issues and so on. And I just want to talk about few issues and how the extension sort of solves for it. The primary one is missing alt text issue. So on the screen, you can see that on the left-hand side, you have an image, and the image doesn't have an alt text added to it. The extension identifies that. It also provides an option for the author to input an alternative text for it. And when they click apply, it inserts the alt text into the markdown cell. There might be cases where the author might feel that, okay, I want to get a different perspective. So they could seek the input of a AI model, and the final input that goes into the markdown cell is with the author, so they can review the output of the AI model and make edits to it, approve it, or reject it. And the other issue the extension looks into is the missing H1 issue. As you can see on the left-hand side notebook, ideally, if the extension has the title H1, it helps the notebook authors who are using screen readers to navigate a notebook. But in this case, it starts with a code cell. So the screen reader users might find it really hard to navigate such a notebook. So the extension quickly flags that, and it also provides an option for the author of the notebook to insert a title. Or they can just rearrange the notebook based on just the detection that the extension does. And as you can see, like the extension starts with a code and not a notebook title. And the other case the extension solves for is table accessibility issues in a table. In this case, you can see that there are a couple of images of cats that are actually inserted in a table, and there is and the author hasn't mentioned what the headers are in a table, and it can get really challenging for screen reader users to navigate across the rows without that input. So what the extension does is that it prompts the user to select like which row or column in the table is a header. Like they could select whether the first row is a header or a first column is a header, or both the rows and columns are a header. And when they click apply, it gets inserted into the table. As you can see, the images are added in the form of table without headers. And the other issue, which is the color contrast issue, in this case, the extension primarily identifies notebooks with images that have poor color contrast ratio, which is lesser than what is prescribed by the WCAG guidelines. It also reports what the exact color contrast value is. Like in this case, for an image with a lot of text, which is I think above 18 pixel, the color contrast ratio is 1.54:1, which is lesser than the prescribed 3:1. So it flags that. So the author has a point, could either replace this image with a new image, which is more accessible, or make the text darker so that the color contrast ratio actually improves. And the other issue the extension currently looks for is that a lot of us like add notebooks with hyperlinks, but we may just add the URL directly. And sometimes we may not even, we may add text like click here, click this, and so on. And this can be really difficult for screen reader users to actually understand what the hyperlink is about. So if the extension flags a certain set of keywords or the URL that a notebook author has added in a markdown cell, and it provides a interface where the notebook author can add what the hyperlink is, so that it is decipherable and has a purpose for somebody who's using this notebook with screen readers. So those are some of the issues that I wanted to highlight. I also want to show a quick demo of the extension, which is prepared by a student developer who couldn't make it.
Hold on. There we go.
Hi, I'm Champion, a student developer working on this project. I wish I were there in person, but I'm so excited to show you how the extension works. Here's a notebook we've authored, opened in a hub environment where extension is installed. Let's open up the extension first by clicking on this button on the right. Now you can run a quick accessibility scan using this Analyze Notebook button. The results are grouped by category. Let's start with the missing alt text example. I'll click the issue to see details and use the Learn More button if I want deeper guidance. I'll click the Locate button to jump to the cell corresponding to the issue. The original content box shows the actual content you have written in this corresponding cell where the issue stems from. You can see that this image is clearly missing an alt text field. For this issue, our extension provides a text field to enter alternative text. I'll quickly add a concise description for this image. Great. Now I'll hit apply, and you can see that the issue went away and the alt text is dynamically injected. Great. Now I'm going to go through the same process with this image missing alternative text, but I'm going to use the AI functionality. You can enable AI using this Use AI button. When you click on it, you'll notice that this Get AI Suggestions button popped up here. Now when you click on this button, the AI will generate an alternative text for you. Yep, I'm happy with that, so I'm going to hit apply, and you can see that the issue went away and the alt text is injected. Great. So different issues get different interfaces. Let's look at this wrong heading order example. Now, after locating the cell, we can see that this heading is a H5, while the previous one was H3. So this is a level jump that is invalid. Here, the extension provides a drop-down interface. I'll choose H2 to fix the issue, and I'll apply the fix, which would be H2. Yeah. For some issues, like insufficient color contrast, the fix has to happen in the content itself. So our extension doesn't provide any interface for that. I'm going to inject a new logo instead of this one. And when I hit Analyze Notebook again, the issue is gone. So that's the flow: scan, review, and fix. It makes this extension makes accessible notebooks faster to produce and easier to maintain. Thanks for watching.
Just a few more things we want to share to wrap up. The JupyterLab Accessibility Checker extension is currently being piloted by Berkeley data science courses. And as of today, the extension has had over 9,500 downloads in the Jupyter community. You can install it via PyPy. I'll show you that in just a sec, but wanted to share, Balaji did an analysis of the 5, I think, largest courses, data science courses in the spring, ran the accessibility checker on all of their lab and notebook content, found 700 or so accessibility issues that could easily be remediated with this extension. And we'll conclude with, you can download this via PyPy, install it, play with it, give us feedback. This is a work in progress. Our developer is graduating. We would love your help in continuing this, seeing this through as he moves on. And thank you for your time today. Again, we'd love your feedback. You can scan this QR code and share what you think of the extension, ideas for future directions, and if you'd like to help us contribute, we'd love your, if you'd fill out the form. Thank you.